Hey traders, the Roybird here. Okay, I want to talk about the Roth IRA in a little more detail. This is the one nugget I got from Ross Cameron that it was the only free info I got from him that was of any value. All the rest was inconsequential. I don't need to know how much money he's making or how he's making a lot of money. I want to know how to trade. And he doesn't actually tell you that. He doesn't tell you that. And he uses a whole lot more money. So that's not what we're doing. So about the Roth. Inside the Roth, you're allowed to deposit $8,000 a year per person who's assigned to that Roth. If my wife was a signature, I could put 16 in, but she's not apparently. So I can only put in 8. So how it started was I started outside in my trade account with $6,000. It made 1,900. That put me at 7,900. At that point, I thought, you know what? Here's where I move everything to the Roth, and you can't just transfer it. I had to sell it, so I lost my low average, but I moved the stocks right away, and I didn't lose any money. And then they were in the Roth from there on. Since then, and I know I said in just a few videos ago that account was at 28,000. Today, only a few days later, I don't know. Yes, it's just a few days later. Oh, right, because it's Monday. It went up again. It's now 30,348. So that's more than 500% since I got it, and that's a year ago. So again, I reiterate that it is entirely possible to start out kind of small, and with the proper choices of growth stocks, you can build your account. Now, the thing about the Roth, first, like I said, it doesn't. Oh, I didn't say that yet. It doesn't provide interest. So whatever you have in there isn't going to get better by itself. It's just a savings. If you're an average person, you can put $8,000 a year in, and then when you're 59 and a half, you're allowed to draw from it without paying taxes on the money that you deposited into it. That's the main key, not paying taxes. So here's the other piece of that. Inside the Roth, because there's no taxes involved, you can sell and rebuy your investment stocks repeatedly. So if you make $15,000 on something and you need to liquidate it to do something else, you just do, and there's no penalty. You know how with your regular investments, if you had made $30,000 and you wanted to take $10,000 out of it, you're going to owe $3,500 in taxes. So you would need to take that extra money out to compensate for the tax. None of that with the Roth. Now, the Roth then allows you to make money inside the Roth, also with no penalty. So what I did was, once I moved my 7,900 into the Roth, it started to grow. It became $20,000. I sold that stock and rebought new growth stocks. Now it's over $30,000. And this is all within 12 months. I kid you not. I just started this last year. At this point last year, I was still trading in the simulator and buying stocks in my trade account. I took a lot of advice from the internet. I looked for stocks that were up and coming, things that kept getting talked about, but nobody had really glommed onto yet. I was a little late because the stock had been around for 20 years and really hadn't grown more than 11 or 12 bucks. And then when I got into it at 20 something, it was already on its way to growth. That's the one I sold at 80 something, and didn't go back to that. But since then, I am still making profit off of my other growth choices. So this has nothing to do with the trading. The trading account is not connected to the Roth in any way, except that they're both accessible through Thinkorswim. So if I want to make changes to my Roth, I just do it through Thinkorswim. It's just that it's in a different account. I can't stress enough that no matter what age you are, the Roth is the way to go, because even if you're just depositing $8,000 a year into it and you're young, it will be a lot of money that you don't have to pay tax on after you're 59 and a half. Now, I opened the account after I was 59 and a half, and there's a 5-year pause. So if I had been, 55 when I opened it, I'd be able to start using it when I was 60, just taking money out of it. As it is, I was 61 when I opened it. So I won't be able to get into it till I'm 65. I won't be able to draw from it till I'm 65. But by then, my what is now $30,000 maybe, gosh, it could be 200. I mean, I'm trying to be realistic. I don't think it's going to be $1 million, but in another year, $30,000 could possibly turn into 200 if I manage it properly. If I stay with the stocks that I'm in and they go up considerably, I would sell them and then go look for new stocks that are starting out again. I don't believe in holding anything for life because nothing's that great. The value of it doesn't increase after 20 years. There's a balance, right? You're not gonna, unless it's growing constantly, which no stock does that. Look at Apple. Apple just sits there at between 204 and 230, and that's it. It's peaked out. There's no reason to keep holding on to your Apple unless they announce they're coming out with a new product. Then you get back into Apple. But if you had 4,000 shares of it and you sold it and it wasn't inside the Roth, you'd owe a ton of tax. So the Roth is like a safe haven for like poor people, regular Americans, and I don't think a lot of people know about it. But I would recommend, if you're young, liquidate your holdings and put them into a Roth, because if you're going to be doing that, investing your whole life in that, you're planning on that to be retirement money, the Roth is going to be the way to go. Okay, that's all I got.